What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Didn't have any games yesterday, didn't have any show yesterday. But the prior day, what was that? Wednesday, we did have a show, we did have games, and I did go 1-0. 76ers took care of business versus the Orlando Magic, and it's a 2-0 start to the playoffs for myself. Good to be back with you, Vino. I'm not sure if you got involved with anything yesterday. I know there's no NBA, but how's everything on your end?
Everything's good, Skee. We ran our UFL streak to 6-0 last night. Had the over 45 and a half in that game, got to 46 with the help of overtime. We'll take it. But let's go back to the NBA on Wednesday because that's what we're here for. And I was part of the same game you were. Very, very small play on the over that night. Orlando certainly didn't do their part, didn't get over. So, again, I would say that if you were on the package the first two nights, Skee carried me 2 days in a row. So I need to get in there and do a little heavy lifting with you here tonight.
We got a couple games to choose from. Should be some stuff we can find here, at least talk out. I think we can, at the very least, have a good conversation about these games. And if not, you know, I think we'll help everybody's cap quite a bit today. We'll start with Hornets and Magic. And opened up -3.5 for the Hornets. I'm still seeing that out there right now. I don't know. Maybe that's not the true opener. I mean, I saw 2.5 initially right after the game, but I don't think it was everywhere. Maybe everywhere it opened at 3.5 or something like that. Total is right around the opener of the 218.5 for the Hornets. Diabate is questionable. For the Magic, Jonathan Isaac is questionable. I think Diabate, first of all, is a big deal. I mean, the Hornets, the success that they've had has mostly been, when their starting five has been healthy. And that's the guy who, you're gonna be getting all those offensive rebounds, et cetera, et cetera. That's a part of the Hornets identity. Um, and to be smaller versus a Magic team who wants to thrive inside is not good. So his status is extremely important to me for this game. I don't think I could bet the Hornets. I mean, my first thought, you guys know how I felt about this Magic team. I said it pretty blatantly when I bet the Sixers. My first thought was to go and just run and take the Hornets like everybody else. But I saw him like maybe he was limping a little bit at the end of that last game. I was wondering if he would pop up on the injury report. And also, Hornets coming off of an overtime game. I don't know. It just I feel like I was just oversimplifying everything with my initial thought. And I had a few tequilas. I don't make bets when I have a few tequilas. So I slept on it and I thought about it a little bit more. And here's what I'll say for the Magic side that I've slandered endlessly for the past, over the past 48 hours at least. At this point, I feel like it's not so much about we don't like the coach. I feel like everybody's embarrassed. And I feel like especially Paolo is embarrassed. I mean, for the last, since the end of the last game, all you've been hearing is Paolo's not that guy from everybody, ex NBA players included. That's been the talk of the town. Is that how he wants to end this season and, go for the next few months? I don't think so. So I think you'll get a really good effort from Paolo. If Diabate's not there, it's going to be a lot less rim protection. You can probably thrive inside where he needs to thrive anyway. I think this Paolo has a really good game today. I heard Jamal Mosley even say, we want to try to get him some easy looks early, et cetera, get him going. I think Paolo has a statement game today. I think I didn't look at his points number, but I would be interested in it. And I'm not ready to write off the Magic in this game, especially at home. What do you think about what I've said so far, Vino?
I think a few things. If I can, I should have wrote them all down, but you touched on a lot of subjects here. First things first, I didn't think the Magic would lay down the other night against Philadelphia. I don't think they did lay down. That game was like 87-87 in the fourth quarter, and Philly beat them down the stretch. Maxey, again, you and I had that little talk the other day. Who's the best player on the floor? It was Tyrese Maxey, best player on the floor. And Edgecombe was key down the stretch. The Sixers, smaller guys, the guards and wings, and Andre Drummond was fantastic. Another thing about that game, and you talked about how Orlando likes to thrive inside, and without Diabate tonight, they probably should. They didn't thrive inside against Philly without Embiid. Now, again, Drummond was great, but it almost seemed
Bona
like,
was too.
yeah, towards the end, it looked like they were willing to settle. Desmond Bain played his tail off. Desmond Bain's going to come to play. We know that he almost carried the team to victory. The rest of the guys really weren't worth too much. But, when Paolo's out there over 5 from 3, I was reading a couple of things off of the internet by writers who basically had the Orlando beat writers who had the thought process, get your ASS inside and score points. Now, if he wants to do that tonight, then I think your point's well taken, especially if Diabate comes up a little lame and can't play here tonight. I had thought really quick, Ski, at the end of that game, we saw Franz go out, hurt his leg at the end of that game. And I thought, oh boy, they're going to be in trouble if he can't go. But I haven't seen any sign of him listed on any injury report. And in fact, I think walking into the tunnel after the game when I was watching, it looked to me like he might be okay. So, listen, they were on the road the other night. They're home now. Do you want to go down in flames in front of your home fans? I don't think so. I put together this list because I think when you said your initial thought was just run and play Charlotte, I think that's the world's initial thought.
Yeah.
I thought it definitely built into the price. Like I keep my own power ratings, and just a normal, Charlotte Orlando game, I had Orlando listed as a 2-point favorite, and Charlotte is up at 3.5. So to me, it's a little bit backwards based on current perception of the Magic, which can always be true in these games. But how about this? Charlotte beats Miami the other night. Good for them. They needed a miracle Kobe White 3-pointer with 10.8 seconds left to tie the thing at 114. They're up 5 with 26 seconds left in overtime. They blow the entire lead in 18 seconds. They're losing after Hero makes all 3 free throws. It's 126, 125, Miami with about 9 seconds left. Again, bailed out. LaMelo makes a layup, and they win that game. But they did all of that as a steamed up 5.5, 6-point favorite. They did all of that on their home floor. They did all of that with Bam Adebayo playing 11.5 out of 53 minutes because he gets taken down on what a lot of people assume was a cheap play. If it's that tough for Charlotte to win a game at home against Miami, who, I don't know, I think you and I both had the opinion that like Miami's going to be there, but I even made the comment I didn't think Spoelstra was Spoelstra anymore. And Miami dragged them, almost beat that team in that game. So now they have to go on the road. Here's the things I have in favor of Charlotte tonight. You're not going to get 2 out of 16 from 3 from LaMelo. 2 of 16? That's horrendous. You're not going to get 0 of 6 from the kid from Duke from 3. That's 2 of 22 combined for those guys. They've been in Orlando twice this year on this floor, and they scored, what were my numbers here? 124 and 120. Scored really well against this team. One game, Knipple didn't shoot well. The other game, he was 4 of 4 from 3. I would expect bounce back from 3-point land from both of those guys. If they have to go small, they're going to have to. I would love to take the points with Orlando. But you know me, I always find safer routes. And I find a little more cushion when I'm playing these totals. I think Charlotte's going to get their team total here, Skee. Whether they win or lose, I don't know that Orlando's the defensive force that they were. They certainly didn't show it against Philadelphia, giving up 112 without Embiid. Charlotte's team total number tonight is 110.5. 111 just seems very doable for that team that wants to go quick against an Orlando team that certainly has gone quick. And if they have to match point for point, maybe they do. Maybe Orlando wins. Just don't know what to make of the game itself. But I do think where points are concerned, even if the Hornets get eliminated tonight, they'll get eliminated with at least 111.
I don't know, Vino. I think I disagree. Here. Um, you know, I hear Desmond Bain talk. I hear all these guys talk. I think you're going to get a good effort from the Magic tonight. And what they said that their focus is multiple guys, physicality. When I hear that, it makes me think they're going to play some really good defense tonight. And I mean, just looking at what they've been doing lately, they did give up 113 to the Celtics, but the Celtics offense, so they go crazy. I mean, they held the Sixers to 109. Sixers didn't get their team to everybody picked the Sixers team total last game because the Magic defense, right? Even as bad as the Magic played, they held them to 109. I think the Magic come out here and play good defense tonight. I do think your point about the Hornets shooting better is very valid. LaMelo and Khan going 2 for 16 or whatever it was. I mean, you're not gonna see that too often. But I do think you get good defensive effort from the Magic. So that's my pushback on that. Uh Anything else we need here? Any thoughts on Apollo points prop, maybe?
Let me go here real quick because I don't have the numbers.
Well,
Orlando comes out tonight energized and super physical. I'm just looking real quick. Scott Foster happens to be the late game, but I wanted to check the refs. The refs here are Mark Davis, Sean Wright, and Justin Van Dyne. I don't know that any of those guys tipped the scales. And Mark Davis, he's been around a long time. I don't know if he's going to get whistle happy or not in a physical game. We'll see. Charlotte's a really good free throw shooting team. Before I get to Paolo, I don't disagree with anything that you're saying about Orlando from a home dog side perspective, because if nothing else, Skee, the price tag is valuable on the Orlando side. I know value gets tossed around a lot in our business, but I do think that current public perception, because everybody's paying attention to this now, is like Orlando stinks. They don't care. They quit.
mhm.
I didn't think they'd quit the other night. I don't think they'll quit here tonight, coach or not. Where Paolo's concerned, hey, I'd love to see a bounce back. He looked at the end of that game. There was a possession, I don't know, minute left. They're still down like maybe 5. He just took the ball up the court and went right to the rim. But probably not. It was an ill-advised shot. But he just looked like he was defeated at that point. Hopefully at home in front of the home fans, he turns that around a little bit tonight.
Yeah, maybe I pump the brakes on. I mean, 23.5 is the number I see, and
Mm.
he could have 20, 22. I mean, I do think this is more of an under game, honestly. If I'm playing the total, I'm betting it under. I'm a little conflicted here. I am a little bit conflicted. There's one more thing I wanted to mention. The Magic shot very poor themselves, right? Not that they're the greatest
Yes.
shooting team, but they were on the road and they shot very poor. Now they come back home where role players usually play, shoot a little bit better. The Hornets, yeah, LaMelo didn't shoot well, Khan as well, but everybody else did. I mean, Bridges, Kobe White, and Brandon Miller all shot 50% plus from three. Are they all going to be able to do that again? I don't think so. So right now, if I'm putting my money down with the current injury report and everything that we have, it's either Magic or under. But I do want to wait for the injury report.
Ski, did you shut the prop numbers down? And just,
No,
I'm
I
just
haven't.
if Banchero's point total is 23 and a half, and maybe we think that could be slightly too high. I just wonder what points and rebounds combined are, because if Diabate doesn't play, I would
31
almost
and a
think I'd
half.
get involved in points and rebounds with Paolo.
31 and a half. Yeah, I can understand that logic.
22 and 10, something like that, if he's going to come out and play. Reports are they want to play physical. I could see that if Diabate wasn't involved, because Kalkbrenner, the backup center, nice offensive player, but not really the force down low other than blocking shots. So maybe points and rebounds.
Could be a good call. Also, could maybe look at Wendell Carter Jr. rebounds too. Um, a lot of different ways to maybe look at this game. All right. Next game we have Warriors and Suns. Opened up -2. Looks like 3 or 3.5, depending where you shop. Total has gone up a little bit from 218.5 as high as 220. We have Porzingis questionable, post out. So could be without two big men for this Golden State team. For Phoenix, Grayson Allen remains questionable with his hammy, and then Mark Williams also questionable. I mean, stands out first to me, Vino's who's protecting the paint if everybody's out. I mean, it's probably going to be an up tempo game. The Suns have shown that they will put a small ball lineup out there. They don't mind doing that at all. And the Warriors might not have many other options. So I can understand why the total's going up. If you get a Porzingis and Williams out, I mean, probably over. You're probably already there, Vino. What you think here?
Well, I had the same first thought as you with Warrior rim protection isn't great to begin with, but you want to take Porzingis out of there, and I don't know, is Quentin Post playing? He didn't play the other night.
He's out.
Yeah, so you got two. They're basically, in that what they used to call death lineup with Draymond at center, and I read where Kawhi, in talking about that game the other night, said it was almost impossible to get a shot up against Draymond. So, a few things here. When I first went through, and again, Phoenix kind of falls into that category, the same category as Orlando, where public perception is concerned, right? I know that
Yep.
your opinion of them the last couple of weeks hasn't been stellar for sure. And they blew a lead the other night at home. My first thought was, 2 home games in this thing. Are you really going to blow 2 games or in a row here? I don't think so. Portland came back with a huge run. I forget what it was. It was like 14 points in the last 3 minutes or something because Portland looked like they were defeated. They wind up winning. Golden State, huge win against the Clippers. Same thing. Comeback win. Steph goes crazy. I don't know. I'm not going to say you can't get Steph going crazy 2 games in a row because he's done it way more times than I could count in his career. So points do seem like the way to go. Individually, I thought Devin Booker was absent the other night. Maybe Devin Booker got locked up. That's a good backcourt. Drew Holiday, Scoot Henderson are really good defensive guys. Then my mind goes to, well, what if Steve Kerr just puts Draymond on Booker? Well, if he does, the rest of these guys, especially with no size, everybody should score here for Phoenix. I could see them having a big night offensively. Dylan Brooks looked very motivated the other night. You talk about physical defense. Dylan Brooks was all over the place. He shot the ball pretty well. Jalen Green had a great night. I don't know. It just seems to me that it would be an up and down game. I kind of understand the total going up. But if I was going to individualize, I kind of trust the Phoenix team total a little more. Phoenix at home. Again, not going to lose 2 games in a row at home in this play. And I don't think Booker goes down here. I said that about Curry the other night when we were talking about maybe a minutes restriction. I think Devin Booker comes up big here. So 111.5 against the Warriors defense with no rim protection looks a little low to me. I think I would try Phoenix team total over.
To a couple guys in the chat, they're asking KP out for sure. No, he's questionable. And to Sammy, he says, Skee, why do you think these questionable players that didn't even get a notable injury like Williams aren't going to play? I didn't say who I think is going to play. I'm just telling you what the injury report says. And I'm letting you know if they don't play, what I think is going to happen. Right. And so, yeah, I need to wait a little bit on the injury report if I'm going to bet the total in this game. Side, you kind of alluded to this, but I think I'm conflicted. But what I'm talking about, you alluded to, is Steph Curry and the Warriors played a really good game. Like, you got an amazing game from Steph. You got an amazing defensive game from Draymond. Are you going to get those 2 things again? I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to bet on that back-to-back, especially when I start to think about the schedule situation. What is this, like the 4th straight road game for the Warriors? You have Suns who didn't have to go anywhere. They lost at home, had 2 days off. I mean, situationally, it does favor the Suns. Absolutely. Do I trust the Suns? I mean, we've had this conversation. You know how I felt about the Suns in recent days. No, I don't trust them very much, and that's what's kind of held me up here. When I think about this game more, like coaching wise, it's absolutely advantage to Golden State. We saw how good of a coach Curry is last game. I mean, we all know he's won enough championships as a player and a coach. We know he has experience. This is the first time head coach for Phoenix that he's going up against. So, saying all that to say, if I like Golden State, I'd want to include the full game. If I like Phoenix, maybe I want to chop the game in half or first quarter. I mean, they've been good early, and I would want to back them before we get a chance for Steve Kerr to go make adjustments, and maybe Coach Ott doesn't know what to do. So, any thoughts on that, Vino?
Yeah, but let me throw a random one your way real quick here. Dylan Brooks and Draymond on the same floor. Technical fouls are bound to happen. Scott Foster has the whistle. To the best of my recollection, I can't remember if Scott Foster doesn't like either one of these players more than the other, or if he's more apt to have a quicker trigger with one or the other. But they both have such a reputation that I don't know. It's an elimination game, which leads me to believe that Brooks is going to do whatever he has to do. Draymond's going to do whatever he has to do. And there could be something that happens randomly in this game that throws the whole thing out of whack. That being said, I still think Phoenix is probably the right side. Skee, I had looked at them from a money line perspective because I didn't want to lay 3.5 simply because, some of the reasons that we've already talked about. Coaching situation is not the best for Phoenix. And also, you have Steph who could stick a three at the end of a game and hurt you laying 3.5. Phoenix is about $1.50 money line right now, most everywhere. I could see it. But last thing I'll say is I think the scheduling point you brought up is huge. Golden State has to be on the road twice in 3 days here and have to put forth the same effort basically 2 times in 3 days. I'm not sure that they can do it.
All right, that's the show for today. Two games. We did 22 and a half minutes. I think we did a solid enough. Hopefully, we helped you guys handicap out there. Now, do a little bit of the promo that we do. We still have the buy 3 days, get three free. Comes out to 6 days for just $69. You also can get involved for a full year if you would like. The ultimate all access pass comes out to under $4 per day. You do also receive a 25% coupon that you can use on anything. Outside of that, there's the summer pass. If you say maybe I don't want a whole year, I just want I want to rock with you guys for the summer. See what you got. This includes WNBA, start of college football, MLB, tennis, UFL, a lot of things going over the summer. And let's get back to what we were talking about here, right? I mean, 45 and 23, the best promo ever created. Double the NBA court vision comes out to 3 days for just $59. Definitely a good way to you know, try us out, rock with Vino and myself. And if you like it, hey, maybe you just go rock with us for the rest of the playoffs. Or Vino, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I might have heard you say that this one was gone, actually. Maybe they waited too long. Um, am I thinking correctly? Did you say this one is gone?
I think that they said that one was going. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't call the office and just get it repriced. I think that would be, if you really wanted that, I'm sure they would get it for you. They would probably reprice it, though, because when they first ran that promo, there were more NBA games available. And playoffs are 7 weeks long. So I would suggest, guys, I don't think you would get turned down if you wanted that promo. You'd probably get a little bit off of, or maybe they would just renew it for you one way or the other. I will say this: when the day comes and there's a WagerTalk Hall of Fame event, that promo is first ballot in. There's no way there's ever been anything better than that particular promo. Let's get the best bet, Skee. I didn't leave one the other day. Like I said, there's only two, and you're selling these things to clients. You're releasing them to clients, so it's kind of hard when management sees us giving stuff away for free. But today, because I didn't give one out the other day, I'm going to I'm going to use one here. And I really think that Phoenix is probably the right side of this game. And more than that, I think that the total probably, their individual team total probably gets over. They shot lights out first half the other night, then got D'd up by Portland at the end of that game to get to 110. Otherwise, they would have been well over this number. And I consider the Portland defense to be far better than what Golden State's is. So for me, I'm going to play team total here for you guys. Best bet. It's one that's going out to clients. So you're in on a client play over 111.5 Phoenix team total.
Good stuff from Vino. You guys know I don't like to really, give stuff unless I've played it. And if you were listening, I need a little bit more information to make my decision. I have a lot of opinions. I want the injury report to be shored up, or at least I want to have some kind of idea who's actually going to play before I push the button. So those all access passes, a good way to go for me. But I will remind everybody that I have played a 5% play for over the weekend in the NBA. So if you want to get involved with that early, go find it over at WagerTalk. Vino, always enjoy doing the show with you. Um, you know, like I always say, helps my process just to talk it out with you. I'm sure we help everybody else out there as well. Chat, we appreciate you guys. Hopefully, you all have a great weekend. We will be back on Monday. So, best of luck on all of your action until then. And yeah, we'll catch you.